Hello everyone and Happy New Year. Welcome to Crafts by the Bow with Diane. Today is a very chilly day here in Cochrane. It's snowy and it's cold, but the sky's blue and the sun's shining, so I'm making the most of being in my craft room. Today I'm going to make some treat boxes, which I'm not going to do any stamping, but I am going to use some of the sale-a-bration items, some of the free items. And I've taken my inspiration from the Butterfly Gala stamp set. I do have the stamp set and I have the beautiful punch, and I've showed you it before. But today I want to show you just how to make these lovely little treat boxes. And what I've done is I've tried to coordinate the gingham gala paper, the free sale-a-bration paper, the free sale-a-bration ribbon and candies that are the same colour. And I want to use them for my showcase, for my bingo sort of Stampin' Up style, for my occasions catalogue launch. And so I'll show you how to make one, and then I think they would be great for little birthday treats on the table. You could put any sort of candies or whatever you want inside. I think they would also fit like the Bath and Body Works little hand sanitizers. I haven't tried them, but it looks about the right kind of size. So let's get started. What I've used to make the boxes with is these little boxes, is the little acetate boxes that Stampin' Up sell. And they're a 2" by 2" box, and they're called clear tiny treat boxes. And they come in, how many's in the pack? Let me see, 16. And I've used them for all sorts of things. I've used them for treats on our Christmas table. I've used them to package little boxes of earrings in. Anything that I can get in a 2" box, I tend to use these. I like that you can see through them. They're so easy to put together. And I've never made like a little box on the end of it before. Usually I've just put a strip of paper, like a 1" strip all the way around. But this time I wanted to show the paper off a little bit more, so I made a little cover for it, and I'll show you how to do that. So first, when you take the boxes out, there is a little instruction pack that shows you how to put them together. And it says to take off the protective film before you start to assemble. Now, I don't do that. I score, it is scored, so I bend all my lines first. So I look for where the score lines are, and I just fold across those first. And the only reason for that is I don't want to get lots of fingerprints on the box. So I don't take the film off until I've just finished folding. And it's completely up to you, but I often find that I've got little bits of glue on my finger, or I get something stuck on there, a little bit of tear tape, and it's not the look I'm going for. So I'm just going across all of the sides and folding over. The scores are pretty good. You don't need to worry about them, not being scored all the way across or anything. Stampin' Up have done a good job with these. Okay, so that's them all folded. And now I'm just going to take the film off. And you can see that at one side, it looks like the film's sort of scrunched up a little bit. And that's the side I always pick at first to take it off. And I know by doing it this way, I just end up with a cleaner box. Okay, and then to assemble the box, it does show you on the instructions, but I know it's hard to see a clear box while I'm bending it. You take the biggest side, just double fold it, fold in the sides, oops, and they'll just catch underneath the edge of the big box. And then the smaller side is like a funnel shape, and you just press that one in, it goes into that gap, she says, and it pops out. So let's just pop that down. Oh, I got it in a pickle now. Do you know, it really is the easiest box to fold. So fold down the biggest one, then the two sides, then the smallest side, and there we go. So if you wanted to put glue dots on underneath, you could do, but I've never found that I've needed them. Okay, so that's our box ready to go. Let's make the little cover. And for that, I've used the gingham gala paper, and I've coordinated it with the free ribbons that you get in the sale-a-bration. So I've got the paper and the ribbon in the balmy blue. Here it is in Grapefruit Grove. Let's just wind that a little bit, else I'll end up getting it in a knot. This is Daffodil Delight. And then we have Lemon Lime Twist, Where Have I Put You? There we are. And then the purple is Highland Heather. And I'm going to use the purple on this box. So let's find a piece of the paper in purple. I don't have much of the purple left. I made a lot of swap cards with it. So I might need to buy another box to finish the ones I need for my occasions launch. Okay, so these are already cut 6 by 6 and I only need them 4 by 4. So I'm just lining it up on the trimmer. This is a great size for putting on other cards as accents and things. So, you know, don't misplace these. They'll work really well on your cards. And then cut that side at 4 and move my cut-end blade out of the way. And then I'm just going to score it at 1 inch all the way around. And the paper isn't very, very thick. It's not like one of the card type papers. So when you score, just go gently. It's easy to cut through if you try and, you know, score heavy-handed. So there we go. And that's the last thing we're going to need the board for. So let's pop that away. And then with my paper snips, I'm just going to go on the score line. And what I do is cut up to where the score lines meet. And then I'm just going to notch this out a little bit at each side, just so that when we fold it, you don't get little pieces that stick up higher than any of the others. And no matter how carefully you cut and score, I end up with an edge that's, you know, a little bit higher and it doesn't always look good. So I just take a little bit out now. Where's that piece gone? There it is. You don't need very much taken out, just a tiny little snip. Okay, move those out of the way. And then decide if you want the small gingham side or the large gingham side to show. I'm going to have it so that it's the smaller side that shows. So I'm just going to fold. You don't need to use the bone folder to do this because it's already pretty nicely scored. And with it being a thinner paper, it folds over really easily. I'm just going to go around all of it. Okay, and then I'm going to put my liquid adhesive on these edges. If you didn't want to use liquid adhesive, you can use snail, you can use tear tape. I just find that liquid adhesive is one that the papers seem to stick together for longer. It bonds the fibres better. Okay. And then I'm going to start it off just by putting 2 of the edges together, like this. And just holding it for a second or 2 so that it starts to take. And then I'm going to pop my box inside. Okay. And then I can use the walls of the box just to hold on to, so that I don't get glue on my fingers and I don't get glue on my box for the other sides. There we are. And it fits around really easily. So you don't need to worry if you've made it a tiny bit big, because the ribbon will keep it on as well. Okay, so now it's time to choose what you're putting in your box. I'm going to fold the edges over again just so that I know they're ready for me to fold in. And this time I've got the high chew and I'm choosing the grape flavour. So just pop those in. And for the other colours, I have got high chew in the orange, but I didn't have anything in balmy blue or in the daffodil delight. So what I'm doing with that is I have these left over from Christmas, and I thought the Lindor blue chocolates would look nice with the balmy blue. Just find a piece to show you. So I thought they would go nicely with that one. And I don't have any yellow, but I do have some Werther's Chewy Caramels, and they're sort of a gold colour, and I thought they might just work with the yellow. I wanted to try and use candy that I already had in, so I don't want to go to the store and buy lots more candy. Okay, so there we are, that's the top folded in. And then we're going to put the ribbon on. And to do this kind of a ribbon, what I do is I always put it over the top and turn the whole box over. I haven't measured how much ribbon I need, so I'm just crossing it over, getting it to lay flat a little bit, and then turning the box over. And then I'm just going to roughly cut. I haven't measured, it doesn't matter about measuring. Okay, and then to get my knot on the top to lay flat, what I like to do is feed these long ends underneath the ribbon on the top. And you can tie the knot just like that, but I like to fold the other one under as well, because it just gives me a better square knot when I'm tying. Okay. And then just a single overhand knot, and it will lay nicely. See how that lays nice and flat without a lot of bulk on the top? And then just a simple little bow. I did actually cut this a bit long, but never mind. Oops. More fingers and thumbs today. It's because it's so cold. Let's start that again. So just a little loop made into a bow. And this organdy ribbon, it just moves wherever you want it to. It's really easy to manipulate. Okay. Now, I don't want the bow loops to be quite as big as that, so I'm just going to pull it down a tiny bit. Oops, there we are. And then I'll find my snips, and I'm just going to cut a little bit off like that. That one's just a bit raggy there. There we go. And then I didn't do any stamping, as I said at the beginning. You could, if you wanted to, stamp out one of these and use it as a little tag on your ribbon. But I wanted to use the paper that we got from Sale-a-Bration that has all the butterflies on. And I've used this a little bit on my box cards, and I did show you it then. This is the piece I'm going to use. What I did think about doing was using this piece and colouring it with just the colours of the ribbon, but when I looked at this piece, really, they were all the colours I needed, so I'm going to use that. And I've already cut out lots of them, and when you're cutting it out, you have to sort of cut between the butterflies and you get a piece that looks like this. And then I've cut across, but that makes it tricky to get into the punch. So what I've done is I've taken some of these pieces and I'm just going to show you how I get it to go into the punch. Sometimes if it's got a little excess on the side, you can use a pair of tweezers and hold it and pop it in like this, and then just sort of move the paper a bit with your tweezers for you where you want it, and then punch. Or what I've also found I like to do is to put the piece in and then take the new pick-up tool, and the end that has the little bit of like sticky tack on, So let me take that piece off. That's got a little bit of fluff on. And I'll just turn it so that another little piece comes out. There we are. See, you only need the tiniest little bit. And what you do is you just stick that on there and you can move the paper wherever you want. If you're trying to move it with your fingers or, you know, like inside, it's very difficult to get this to move. But with this tool, you can just manipulate it, hold the punch down a little bit so that it's trapped it, but you haven't cut with it. And then just move it slightly to where you want so that you've got the little gap around it that you need. It can be a little time consuming, but that's okay. There, and that's where I'm going to punch. And can you see? I've got the nice little border around the edge and the sticky tack is there to use another time. I tend to put my lid on quite quickly because I have found that the sticky tack will dry out if you leave it for any length of time. Okay, so now that we've got the little butterfly punched out, I'm going to use my glue dots, and you only need one. I'll use the other end of the pickup tool, and then I've just positioned it sort of on the paper at the right hand side near the ribbon, and I'm just going to place my butterfly on there, and that's it. So there's, let's see, there's the lemon lime twist one with the apple haiku in, and here's the Highland Heather one with the little grape haiku in. So I will take a photograph when I've done one of each colour and put it on the website too. But I hope you like that little idea. You can use any papers you like. Don't think, oh, you know, I have to use this gingham paper. Any colours, because the joy of these butterflies is they all have a couple of colours in. Like this has the blue and the yellow and the purple, orange and the green. So as long as you have something that complements that, that works. If you only have this paper and you don't want to use any other DSP, some of the papers, let me just find, where's that nice one with the leaf? Here, look. You could use this paper instead of the gingham gala. And then, apart from the boxes, everything else would be free from Sale-a-Bration, your paper and your ribbon. So that would be a nice one to use. And then they have the purple. Or you could even use the black and white sides. I think that would look quite pretty too. It really is a nice pack of paper. And as you know, I wasn't quite sure about some of the sheets when I first got it, but it's really grown on me. This would make a lovely one for this paper, and you would get 4 boxes from one sheet because the sheets are 12 by 12 and we only need 4 by 4. So, you know, you're going to get 4 pieces and a nice piece left over. So I hope you really enjoyed that. Have fun making little boxes, and I'll see you all again soon, everybody. Bye-bye.